Have you ever wondered how deadly White Pikmin's poison is when it's consumed by the enemies? So as you know, White Pikmin deal damage to enemies when eaten, but I always wondered how much damage actually is it? Is there a set number, or is there something per enemy that is set? I don't know, but in this video I found out all the information related to this, and it's pretty interesting. So if you enjoy this video at all, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more Pikmin content in the future. Yeah, without further ado, let's go through all 3 Pikmin games where the White Pikmin appear and see exactly what happens. So I looked on the Pikmin wiki at exactly how much health each individual enemy has, and based on this experiment here, I concluded that the health is actually accurate on the Pikmin wiki to each enemy, and basically a regular blue Pikmin will do 10 lots of damage. So for this Bulbob here, it has 750 health in Pikmin 2, so it takes 75 individual blue Pikmin hits to actually defeat it. And yep, it lines up perfectly well. I did test in all 3 of the Pikmin games, and it is indeed 10 damage with a normal Pikmin. Obviously the multipliers for things like the red Pikmin's 1.5 times will be added onto that. So yeah, standard Pikmin damage is 10 across all the games except for Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I will get to that later, but let's start with Pikmin 2. Attack damage is 10, so should we calculate and see if the White Pikmin do an exact amount of damage? So I first wanted to test it on this Bulbob. Oh, it instantly kills it. Well, that's great, isn't it? So I went for a bigger enemy like a Snagrit. The Snagrit has 1,500 health. It took 150 hits to kill it, and doing that with the White Pikmin, first of all, it shows about, I want to say, is that 2/5 of the health gone from one poison? And calculating it from what we've learnt here, it looks like the poison does 190 damage or 19 regular Pikmin hits. So that's quite impressive. So it would take 8 total White Pikmin to kill a burrowing Snagrit, and it would do 1,520 damage to kill it. But then after I did that, I discovered that it actually changes per enemy. It does not do the set 190 damage each time. So White Pikmin do not deal 190 damage. They deal individual values per the enemy, which is why even though the Bulbob has 750 health, it got one-shotted, because the whites don't do 190 damage. They are just set to kill a certain amount of the enemy's health or completely kill it. Yeah, let's change the plan completely, and now let's see how many whites it actually takes to kill each enemy. You will see on screen the damage dealt to the enemy and also information about it. Obviously for the ones that it one-shots, it will be doing the enemy's health amount. So all the information is going to be on screen. Every single dwarf Bulbob and small enemy around the size of a dwarf Bulbob will get one-shotted by the White Pikmin. So yeah, dwarf Bulbob's one-shot, Bulbmin one-shot, regular Bulbob one-shot, burrowing Snagrit 8 whites, the pileated Snagrit takes 13 whites, the cloaking Burrownic gets one shot, the creeping Chrysanthemum gets one shot, the Emperor Bulblax takes 7 whites, the Sheargrubs get one shot, the Fiery Bulblax takes 5 whites, the Hermit Chromad takes 1 shot, the Orange Bulbob takes 2 whites, the Toady Bloister takes 4 whites, the Ranging Bloister takes 8 whites, the Spotty Bulbear takes 3 whites, the Water Dumper gets 1 shot, the Bulbob Larva gets 1 shot, and finally the Hairy Bulbob gets 1 shot as well. Now that's every single Pikmin 2 enemy in the entire game that has the ability to eat Pikmin. The rest of them kill them in other methods, such as with elemental attacks or by squishing them. Some enemies are just harmless though, like with the Mamuta and the Puffy Blowhog. And other enemies like the Jelly Floats I did test, they can consume it without actually eating it. I guess they disintegrate their cells. So onto Pikmin 3, the Wii U version first, since Deluxe is so different that it needs to be covered separately. Now the unfortunate thing about Pikmin 3 is that whites and purples are not in the story mode, so the only places that we can access purple and whites is in Bingo Battle or Collect Treasure. They are not in any of the other modes in the game. Now I cannot mod the game to allow every single enemy, so if someone could do this, then you could let me know in the comment. But yeah, let's go through all the enemies that can eat Pikmin. The Arachnode is not applicable, not in the same stage as Whites. Armoured Mordad, same thing, not applicable. The Bearded Amprat is in fact in one of the levels with the White Pikmin, but it's not in the same layout, so this is also not applicable. The Bug-Eyed Crawmad takes 10 Whites to kill. The Red Bulbob takes 5 Whites to kill. The Dwarf Bulbobs obviously get 1 shot. The Orange Bulbobs take 5 Whites to kill. The Whip-Tongue Bulbob takes 5 Whites. The Bulbear also takes 5 Whites. The Burrowing Snaggerer is not in a stage with White Pikmin. Skitterleaves take 1 shot. The Grounded Joustmite takes 3 to kill it. The flying ones are not in any levels with White Pikmin, but we can assume that it's the same since it's basically the same enemy but flying. Although the health is different, so it could take an extra White to kill it. Hermit Crawmad is not in any stages with Whites. Sheargrubs get 1 shot. Peckish Aristocrab is not in a stage. Fozbats are not in a stage. Puckering Blino is not in any stage, unfortunately. The Pyroclasmic Slooch gets 1 shot. The Scornets are not in any stage. The Sputtlefish is in fact in a level with White Pikmin, but it can't actually access them because the water's in the way. The Toady Bloister is not in a level with White Pikmin. The Water Dumple is in a level but just not accessible because it's just really far deep underwater. So yeah, that's quite unfortunate. We can't test most of the Pikmin 3 enemies, but assuming from what we've gathered so far, the smaller enemies around the size of a Dwarf Bulbob-ish usually take 1 shot to kill, while the medium enemies like Bulbobs seem to take 3 to 5 Whites to kill, and then the bigger bosses usually take about 8 to 10 Whites to kill. Now Pikmin 3 Deluxe is an entirely different story, because it's a lot of an easier game on the normal mode. Now I did definitely check and see if mission mode was the same as normal mode, so I did the test with the Bulbob. I attacked it with 1 single blue in story mode and also did it in mission mode, and guess what? They do the same damage. But normal Pikmin in Pikmin 3 Deluxe specifically, they do 20 damage to enemies. The enemies have the same health according to the Pikmin wiki, so if that is actually true for Pikmin 3 Deluxe, well, Pikmin now do 20 damage. So it's not the enemy health that's been lowered, it's the Pikmin attack strength that's been buffed. Why, Nintendo? This is one of the main reasons that I don't like Pikmin 3 Deluxe. The Wii U version is far superior. I'm really surprised that all of the modders for Pikmin 3 have moved over to Pikmin 3 Deluxe, considering it is just a terrible version of the game, and compared to the original, a lot changed for the worse. But anyway, that's another topic for another video. Yeah, all the enemies that can actually eat Pikmin in this game, let's go over the differences. So, Bug-Eyed Crawmad is now 5 Whites, the regular Bulbob is now 3 Whites, Dwarfs are still 1 shot, Orange Bulbob is 3 Whites, Whip-Tongue Bulbob is 3 Whites, the Spotty Bulbear is 3 Whites, Skitterleaf is 1 shot still, the Joustmite is now 2 Whites, the Sheargrubs are still 1 shot, and the Slooches, the Pyroclasmic Slooch is still 1 shot. So a few of them have just been made a lot easier with the white poison. It's just crazy. Look at this side by side with the Whip-Tongue Bulbob. Oh my god. And finally, I would say the most interesting take on this is Pikmin 4. It has very accurate and I would say very good poison damage for the most part. There's a few that I would probably make a bit higher. For example, the regular Bulbob in Pikmin 4 only takes 1 White Pikmin to kill. Why? It took, what, 5? Yeah, 5 in Pikmin 3. What happened? But yeah, going over all the enemies that can eat in Pikmin 4. Luckily, there's the Piclopedia that we can use, so this makes it a lot easier than having to go out and find them in the individual levels, like in Pikmin 3 and 2. So yeah, this is making it a lot easier to find them. So yeah, Dwarf Bulbobs are still 1 shot. The Ancient Sirehound actually takes 20 Whites per phase to get rid of all of its health. Now, unfortunately, you can't proceed with the further phases because it just doesn't attack with its mouth on phase 2, so you couldn't kill it fully. With the White Pikmin, you would actually have to do normal damage. But on phase 1, it took 20 to actually drain its health. The Arachnode is 1 shot. The Arctic Cannon Beetle took 10 White Pikmin to kill. The Aristocrab Offspring was 1 shot. The Bearded Amprat was 1 shot. The Bloomcap Bloister was 3 Whites. The Bog Swallow was 2 Whites. The Bug-Eyed Crawmad was 5 whites. Regular Bulborb was 1 shot, which is still bizarre. The Burrowing Snagrit was 8 whites. Creeping Chrysanthemum was 2 whites. The Crusted Rumpup was 10 whites. The Desiccated Skitterleaf was 1 white. The Downy Snagrit was 1 shot. The Emperor Bulblax was 8 whites. The Fiery Bulblax was 3 whites. The Flighty Joustmite was 1 shot. The Foolix was 10 whites. The Frosty Bulbob was 2 whites. The Gildamander was 10 whites. The Gildamandui was 1 white. The Grubchucker was 3 whites. The Hermit Crawmad was 1 white. The regular Joustmite was 1 shot. The Jumbo Bulbob, which is the big Bulbob, was 5 whites. Sheer Grubs were all 1 shot, including the Sheer Flea. The Moldy Slooch doesn't take poison damage, so even though it can eat the White Pikmin, any of these poison-esque enemies don't take damage to whites when being eaten, which is a really cool detail. So yeah, Moldy Slooch doesn't take poison damage. The Pyroclasmic Slooch gets 1 shot again. The Orange Bulbob takes 2 whites. The Pearly Clamp takes 2 whites. The Peckish Aristocrab takes 3 whites. The Puckering Blino takes 1 shot. The Snowflake Fluttertail takes 8 whites. The Sovereign Bulblax takes 15 whites. The Spotty Bulbear takes 3 whites. The Startle Spore doesn't take poison damage. The Sun Squish takes 1 shot. The Toady Bloister takes 2 whites. The Tusked Blowhog takes 1 white. The Waddlequaff, that one takes 1 shot. The Water Dumple takes 1 shot. The Whiptongue Bulbob takes 2 whites to kill. The Bulbob Lava gets 1 shot again. I forgot to mention the Albino Dwarf Bulbob earlier, but that one also gets 1 shot as per expected. And finally, the Greater Spotted Jellyflow actually takes damage from whites in this game. In Pikmin 2, they don't take any damage, but in Pikmin 4, they actually do take 3 whites to kill. And yes, the regular Jellyfloats in Pikmin 4 do not take poison damage or even eat Pikmin. They consume them and they just stay inside of the insides forever. Only the greater spotted ones actually properly eat them and like kill the Pikmin. Now that was a lot of enemies. Holy. So I guess the one thing to take away from this video is that white Pikmin vary their damage based on the enemy that eats them. Maybe they have a worse immune system. That could be the reason, instead of just the pure health of the enemy being taken into consideration. It may be some, law, or it could just be easier enemies get 1 shot easier while the harder ones don't. Who knows how the system's supposed to work, but that's how it does. It was a little unfortunate that we couldn't test all the Pikmin 3 ones, but that's just the fact that white Pikmin aren't in the story mode. If you have any questions or anything you may want to add in the comments, why don't you comment it, and while you're down there, subscribe for more Pikmin videos. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this really informational and mathematical type video. Not really done something as complex as this before, let's say. So thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Bye bye.